Hey, I had several people asking for the Mageblade offhealer build that I mentioned we were going to use for my 4-man dungeon team. So I put this together to show the general gist of what we're doing and how we would build this. So I'm calling this an offhealer, but really we're building for full damage. The only heal that we're really utilizing is funnel health. This does some magic damage. It heals you or 3 other nearby allies for 53% of the damage inflicted every 2 seconds for 10 seconds. So while this tooltip looks kind of small and 53% of that wouldn't be that big of a heal every 2 seconds, when you see that it's actually hitting for 63k sometimes, 53% of 63k is 33k. That's 33k of heal every 2 seconds, which that's insane coming from a damage dealer. So this is built really damage first, but then we're running spell power cure. This gives the group major courage. Now there's several other ways to run major courage in a group now. You could have the tank running Olo, and then the Mageblade could just run Master's Architect or something like that. You could flip these sets around however you guys want. So we're choosing to use spell power cure on the Mageblade. That's on the jewelry and the weapons on the front bar because funnel health is on the front bar. It doesn't really matter if it's on front or back when you're pairing it with Null Arca. Null Arca could be on the weapons and spell power could be on the body. Either way works. We do have one more heal on the back bar, refreshing path, that could proc spell power cure. So yeah, either way, body or jewelry and weapons. Along with spell power cure, we're basically just making this as a full damage dealing Mageblade, pairing it with Null Arca, which gives lots of extra crit chance and the slivers. And then a 1-piece crit chance, whatever kind of monster set gives crit chance, like Ice Heart, Zon, the Blind, any of those. And this is 1-piece light. For our dungeon group, the Nightblade's probably going to have to wear 1-piece light Scoria instead of Ice Heart to get extra pin. Probably also going to have to take off Wraithful Strikes for Force of Nature CP to just get to that 17, 18k pin. But yeah, 6 medium, 1 light, and then play around with the pin on the monster set, either a pin set or a crit set, depending on your group's pin. And then Huntsman War Mask for single target damage. For trash, you're probably going to want to switch to Velothi and like Sap Essence or some other AoE skills. This is really just the boss setup that I'm showing. But yeah, probably Zolzon, Spell Power Cure, Velothi for the trash setup. Then for the traits, it's all divines on the body with max magica glyphs. For the jewelry, it's all infused with spell power damage enchants. For the daggers, we got double charged, one with a fire enchant, one with a poison enchant, and then back bar, Maelstrom Greatsword, infused weapon damage enchant. Then for the Mundus, we got the Thief. For the food on the dummy, we got Ghastly Eyeball. In content, you can use just max magica food, like Mistral Banana Bunny Hash. For potions, you can use Essence of Heroism, give you alt back like crazy, especially on Nightblade, or just Tripods work. Then for race, probably Khajiit would be the best for 4-man to get that crit damage up. I'm a Dark Elf, which is also great. Also for a Mageblade, a High Elf would work too. For the CP, I'm running Deadly Aim, Exploiter, Master at Arms, Wraithful Strikes. Wraithful Strikes, like I said, I'll probably switch out for Force of Nature just to get that extra pin because we're not planning on running Alkosh, so we need that extra pin from the CP. Then for the skills, the main heal and main spammable is Funnel Health. This gives you a big heal back, up to 33k or more every 2 seconds for your group, which is insane. And then Relentless Focus. I tried out Merciless, but kept running out of Magicka when I was using Funnel with it. So I went with the Stammorth Relentless Focus. Shadowy Disguise is a really great buff for Nightblade. You go Invis, and then when you come out, your next direct damage attack is a critical strike no matter what. And also, you do 15% more damage to monsters for 15 seconds, and you get minor protection. So it does a lot, but also this pairs really well with Vampire. The passive Strike from the Shadows. When you leave Sneak, Invisibility, or Mist form, your weapon and spell damage is increased by 300 for 6 seconds. So that counts going into Shadowy Disguise and coming out of it. So you definitely want to be a Vampire anytime you're doing Nightblade DPS. And then Impale is the main execute of the build. I also tried to work in Killer's Blade, but kept running out of stam again. So I had to go Impale. I think Killer's Blade would probably do a bit more damage overall, and you could start execute earlier. But with Impale, you have to wait till 25%. It still does really good damage. Then Debilitate is a damage over time and can also proc Overcharge status effect. And then In-Cap Strike on the front bar. This is our main alt. Most of the time, you're going to be wanting to use In-Cap Strike. In dungeons, sometimes Soul Harvest is a little better, just because you're killing so many adds that you get your ultimate back really fast. So that's really personal preference, In-Cap versus Soul Harvest. You really want to try to time this out to have In-Cap up during every off-balance phase. And then on the back bar, Stampede. This goes along with the Maelstrom Perfected Greatsword. This does a nice AoE in the area, but also procs Merciless Charge, which increases your direct damage attacks by 8% up to 12%. That's a huge, huge benefit. And then Barb Trapped is a nice single target dot, but also procs Minor Force to help you do a little more crit damage. Darkshade is nice for a little bit of added damage, but also minor maims the target. Fiery Contingency, this is kind of a flex spot. You can really put whatever you want here. But I have this set up with Flame Damage, Lingering Torment, and Intellect and Endurance. Then Refreshing Path. This gives a movement speed boost and a recov boost, but also gives a decent heal over time. This is just kind of a backup heal to lay down wherever you guys are doing damage. Then Ice Comet as kind of an AoE alt. So yeah, that's the setup. I didn't parse a ton on this. I just did it a few times and got nearly 143k, which is really crazy when you consider that this is our healer for our team and it's putting out 33k heals every 2 seconds. For most dungeons, that's going to be enough. For dungeons with big heal checks, it's definitely not going to be enough. So we're going to need to shift to some real heals. And what's probably better than just changing all these skills and CP to healing and stuff like that would be just to bring a whole healer for those harder healer situations. As soon as you start pulling back on building for damage, the funnels get smaller and then the heals get smaller, so you just might as well build a full healer at that point. Okay, before I show the full parse, I'm going to just talk through the skills really quick and kind of the rotation priority. Your first priority is going to be Relentless Bow Procs. Those do a ton of damage, and once you get 4 of them, you can shoot it off. That's going to be your highest priority. Your second highest priority is going to be that Going Invis, getting that 15% damage buff and that 300 weapon damage for 6 seconds buff when you do a skill after Shadowy Disguise. Definitely want to keep that up. Then Stampede for the Merciless Charge buff. Then Trap for Minor Force, Darkshade, then Debilitate, then Fiery Contingency. And that whole time, you obviously want to keep funnel health up to keep heals rolling. So how I would start a fight is I'd get my Darkshade pre-buffed. I would go Invis, immediately drop an Ice Comet and Trap, Stampede, make sure you're bashing, get funnel health rolling. Then make sure your dots are up. Make sure you're proccing your bows and getting your Shadowy Disguise back. But yeah, that's basically it. In the middle of the parses, you're going to want to try your best to line up your bow procs into off balance windows as much as possible, along with your in cap strike hitting right before off balance. So you want to really ride those off balance waves as much as possible. And then with Impale, you want to start using that at 25%. If you're running low on Magico, when you're spamming Impales, you can throw some Merciless Resolves and those hit pretty hard too. But also don't forget to keep funnel health going because that's your group's heals, and normally during execute is when it gets crazy in dungeons. So yeah, that's the rotation. Here comes the full parse. I'm by no means a Nightblade main, so excuse my rough parse, but here it is. Thanks so much for watching. Catch you next time. Peace.